Hi, I'm Sam here at Rick Jones Pianos with a Yamaha console that was built in Thomaston, Georgia in 1992. This was a factory that Yamaha operated in the United States for, I forget how many years, a couple decades, making primarily furniture-style pianos for the American market. Um, One of the old criticisms of Yamaha pianos back in the 60s and 70s was, um, particularly amongst the American piano buying public, who was very furniture conscious, um, the the furniture styles that Yamaha attempted to make in Japan didn't match what Americans wanted in their homes. And Yamaha's solution was to take a Japanese design on the inside. I believe this is pretty similar to the old console model M2, or it's descended from it, and that normally had a very contemporary European-style continental case. And they repackaged it in a wide variety of different furniture styles made by American cabinet makers. And that's what Yamaha did in this factory where this piano was made in the state of Georgia. They also made a lot of studio upright pianos, the P22, that were more clunky looking. They were designed for institutions, schools, churches, but they had a similar American finish. A lot of them were made of walnut veneer. This one has oak veneer, and a lot of those had oak veneer. In any case, it's a finish that was much to American purchasers' liking, and that's how this piano came about. So it's a Japanese design and American-made piano, and I think it's fair to say it's one of our favorite small pianos that we ever get in here. They're, in my opinion, very thoughtfully designed, easy to service, and provide a remarkably good balance of tone and touch, which is, in my opinion, ideal for a new student, such as who would be practicing on this piano at home. And we've worked on this piano, regulated it, cleaned it up to finish as best as we can. There are some blemishes here and there that we weren't able to completely remove, including on the bench here. I tried to polish it. The bench is in sturdy condition, but there are some just unevenness on it. But it does open up to store sheet music. It is the original bench, and the legs match perfectly, so we'd encourage you to. If you want a padded bench, we would encourage you maybe to consider sourcing a pillow of your own choosing that you can put on top of this bench. I know online you can buy all sorts of different pillows in different colors and thicknesses, and it just sort of wraps on the underside of this top flap here. And that way you can keep the original bench with the exactly perfectly matching legs with the original piano. So in any case, the bench is included with the piano. We should, in fairness, note that this piano, unfortunately, does not have a functional middle pedal. It was the practice rail was missing from this piano when it was delivered to us. So we have this piano priced accordingly. It's not a part that we can easily replace with anything that we have, and rather than concern ourselves with that, we're offering this piano for a slightly lower price than would be normal for this model. Yamahas are usually quite desirable, and it's not very often that we get one in our inventory that we can sell for under $3,000. And when they do, they sell pretty quickly. And I suspect that may be the case for this piano, for what we have it priced at. If the practice mute is not of a concern to you, maybe you have a detached house that's sufficiently far away from neighbors. It won't be a feature that you may need. If that's your situation, I would definitely give this piano consideration. It's a wonderful first place to start if you're just getting into the world of pianos. Maybe you're the parents of a young student who is excited to learn the piano, and you don't have a piano that's to your teacher's liking at home. I would think any teacher would be absolutely delighted to have their student practicing on this, their young new student practicing on this at home. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Regulated up beautifully, very even, responsive feel across the keyboard. Really quite a pleasure to play. I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. For a very attractive price, I would say. Having said all that, I think it would be fair to say it's a very bold sounding piano for the tone, but I don't want to call it bright exactly. You can play it softly. Well, It's a very bold sounding piano. I think it's fair for me to rate this a 6 on a scale from 1 to 10 for the touch. It's not a harsh sound at all. And sometimes a brighter sounding piano might tend toward that direction. I don't get that at all from this piano. In fact, there's an especially warm sound if you can get it out of it. But it has a very forward, bold, brilliant sound, which I think Yamaha has been known for a long time. This piano is, I think, a very good example of that characteristic Yamaha sound. I think it's fair to say it's a 6 on the scale from 1 to 10. I hesitate because it doesn't sound super bright to me, but it does sound very bold and brilliant, and that effectively translates to a 6 on the scale from 1 to 10 for the tone. Definitely not the brightest sounding piano I've ever played, so don't worry if it's too bright, but it has a remarkably big sound for its small little size, we'll put it that way. And the touch is, as I said, very smooth, responsive, even. And it's not too easy or too hard. I would put it right in the middle at a 5 on a scale from 1 to 10, from light to firm. Very agreeable, very even, and exactly the type of touch that I would recommend for a new student who's beginning to learn how to play piano. I'd like to recommend a neutral touch for someone whose fingers are, if they're young, they may not be very strong yet. A neutral touch will be just resistant enough to give them a good exercise for their fingers without being too overwhelming like a firm touch piano could be. Of course, that will depend on your teacher. If your teacher wants you to play on a firm touch piano, I'm not sure if this is going to be the one for you. But if your teacher only said don't get a light touch piano, I think you'll be quite fine with this piano. Really very even, neutral, agreeable, so we'll get a 5 on a scale from 1 to 10 for the touch. And like everything else we sell, this has our 10-year warranty, all parts and labor, and 100% lifetime trade-up guarantee. We do ask that you make sure you have this piano in tune twice a year by a professional technician, and that you keep it away from extremes of humidity. So definitely stop by, try this out for yourself. It's a lovely little piano. But if you can't make it, you can always give us a phone call or send us an email with any questions.